This is Marcus Kova with Studio MMA and MMA Nut, and we're here with UFC President Dana White. How excited are you about tomorrow's matchup?
I'm pumped up for this fight. These guys, you know how both these guys are when they come out to fight, how they walk out to the octagon and what they are when they get in there, and I think it's going to be a war. I'm excited.
After the what happened with the Condit fight and GSP and Nick Diaz, what was it that made you put these two guys together? Obviously, it's a great matchup, but why BJ Penn versus Nick Diaz?
Well, I felt like because I was moving Condit up, BJ had to fight somebody, and the thing was, I felt that Diaz was having trouble with the pressure of being in the main event. And then the funny thing that ends up happening is he's the main event now anyway. But we've been very lucky in that this is a fight that people want to see. So the fact that GSP fell out didn't hurt this event at all.
And it's been easy to deal with Nick Diaz for this one, and no issues at all.
Nick's been awesome, man. He's been great. He's been great.
Okay, good. You mentioned previously that you've gone into a few different countries and that you're working on France. You've been to Germany before, but you haven't been back since. Any specific reason?
No reason. We hit that market. Now we're trying to get into all these other markets that we haven't been into before. And we're very focused on France right now.
And Sweden, I hear. I did some research, and looks like March.
We're working on it. We'll see. I don't want to commit to anything, but yeah, Sweden is a country we want to come to too.
You put me on that card?
Yes.
You mentioned earlier as well you were in New York. Is it something you can talk about now?
Yeah, I was in New York. I met with Showtime when I was out there. Had a great meeting with Showtime. Nothing's done, but we just talked and we had a good meeting. We'll see what happens.
And Showtime, Strikeforce, any updates, any news, what's going on with Strikeforce?
Nope. We'll see. I mean, we had the meeting yesterday. We'll see how it goes.
Do you follow the internet tweeting back and forth between fighters? Have you heard the last thing with Fabricio Verdum and Brandon Schaub?
No, what happened?
Brandon, I guess they trained together 2 weeks ago, and they weren't actually sparring with each other, but they were training at the same time. And Brandon said afterwards, he said he'd really like to fight Fabricio. Fabricio said, I'd love to take that fight. I do have a contract with Strikeforce for another 4 fights, but I'd love that fight. There was a lot of questions, a lot of people thinking that it was going to happen. You haven't heard any of it?
No, I have no idea. And
it's not a fight that you would consider?
He's right. He's under contract with Strikeforce, so we'll see.
The Ultimate Fighter show, last time we spoke, you said this year is going to be really exciting. So far, it's been very, very exciting. Other fighters and the fights, as we saw on getting into the house, there's some top-level fighters. Do you see any prospects from that group, without mentioning any names, that you can see as future UFC champions?
No doubt about it. There's some really good guys on this season. But yeah, we'll see who wins and we'll see how it goes, man. But yeah, there's a lot of talented guys, and there's guys that are fighting at that weight that if we add a 125-pound division could be fighting at 125.
You saying there's potentially going to be a 125 division in the UFC?
There will be. Oh yeah, it's a fact.
Great to hear. Another thing, the difference between Strikeforce and the UFC, there's females fighting in Strikeforce. Will there ever be a women's division in the UFC, do you think?
I'd never say never, but not anytime soon.
Thanks, Dan. I appreciate your time and look forward to seeing the fights tomorrow.
Appreciate it. Thank you.